Welcome to 5 Facts Only. Today we reveal the top 5 North Korea escapes caught on camera. Daring, shocking, and unforgettable. Number 5. In November 2017, a dramatic escape unfolded involving Oh Chong-song, the son of a North Korean general. Surprisingly, Chong-song had no intention of fleeing when he woke up that morning. Thanks to his father's high position, Chong-song had enjoyed a relatively privileged life in North Korea. But a sudden turn of events forced him to run for his life. Earlier that day, Chong-song had gotten into trouble with his friends. Hoping to clear his mind, he decided to have a few drinks at a local bar. What started as an innocent night out would soon lead to a life-changing decision. After finishing his drinks, he got into his car and began driving back to his military base. As he neared the base, he was supposed to stop at a security checkpoint. Instead, he made a split-second choice to break through it, triggering a desperate race for survival. Realizing the severe punishment that awaited him if caught, Chong-song sped toward the border, pushing his car as fast as it would go. North Korean military officers quickly joined the pursuit, determined to stop him. His escape took a dangerous turn when his car crashed into a ditch just short of the border. Injured but undeterred, Chong-song got out of the car and ran for the border fence, even as his fellow soldiers fired at him. Hit by 5 bullets, he somehow managed to make it across the border into South Korea. Unconscious and critically wounded, he was found by South Korean soldiers who quickly provided medical help and safety. After his recovery, Chong-song showed no regret about his escape. Reflecting on his decision, he said he was glad to have left North Korea behind, embracing freedom despite the danger and pain he endured. Number 4. While it's uncommon for North Korean military officers or spies to attempt escape, there are remarkable exceptions, like the daring story of former North Korean spy Chol Lee and his friend. Both men worked for the country's powerful National Intelligence Service, tasked with monitoring over 1,000 citizens through an extensive network of informants. As members of this elite agency, they enjoyed rare privileges: freedom to travel within North Korea, special credentials, and access to restricted information. However, over time, the harsh reality of life under the oppressive regime weighed heavily on them. Their perspective began to shift further when they interacted with a South Korean organization delivering rice to starving rural communities. Seeing this act of compassion from across the border sparked an idea that would change their lives forever. They began plotting their escape. They knew fleeing directly to the Chinese border was too risky. Sudden travel would raise suspicion among colleagues. Instead, they devised a plan to escape by crossing the Yellow Sea, covering a treacherous distance of about 3.7 miles. Without access to a boat and desperate to avoid drawing attention, they settled on an incredibly dangerous alternative: swimming. Equipped with only essential food and supplies, they began the daunting swim under cover of darkness. After about 2 hours, exhaustion overwhelmed them. To stay afloat, they had to discard nearly everything, even their shoes and pants. At one terrifying point, they spotted a patrol boat moving toward them. Fearing immediate capture, they hid in silence, hoping to remain undetected. As the weather worsened and their strength faded, they stumbled upon an isolated island where they found pieces of plastic, wooden pallets, and styrofoam. They used these scraps to create a makeshift raft and clung to it for hours, cold and exhausted. Finally, South Korean officers discovered them, surprised to learn that Chol Lee and his friend had unknowingly crossed the maritime border hours earlier. Against all odds, they had survived the perilous waters of the Yellow Sea and secured their freedom from one of the world's most oppressive regimes. Number 3. No Kum Sok's story stands out as one of the most remarkable defections by a North Korean military officer. A Korean-American engineer and aviator, No Kum Sok, served as a senior lieutenant in the Korean People's Army Air Force during the Korean War. Despite having no real naval experience, he initially applied to become an officer in the Korean People's Navy. With help from his history teacher, he managed to pass the selection test, by lying about his background and became an ensign. Later, he was sent to Manchuria for flight training, where he quickly rose through the ranks. His bold defection occurred on the morning of the 21st of September, 1953. No piloted his MiG-15 jet from Sunan, near Pyongyang, and flew south to Kimpo Air Base in South Korea. The entire flight lasted just 17 minutes, with the jet reaching speeds of around 1,000 kilometers per hour. Surprisingly, no North Korean or American aircraft intercepted him during his escape. Even more incredibly, US radar at Kimpo was temporarily offline for maintenance at that exact time. When he arrived, No accidentally landed against the runway direction, narrowly missing an American F-86 Sabre jet. After bringing his MiG to a stop between two Sabres, he leapt from the cockpit, tore up a portrait of Kim Il-sung kept inside, and surrendered to the stunned security guards rushing toward him. This daring escape not only secured his freedom, but also handed the United States an intact MiG-15, providing critical intelligence during the Cold War. Number 2. Defections from North Korea aren't limited to ordinary citizens. Even high-ranking officials have risked everything to flee the regime. One of the most intriguing cases involves Jo Song-gil, a North Korean diplomat whose mysterious disappearance sparked international attention and concern. Jo Song-gil served as the acting ambassador at North Korea's embassy in Rome after Italy expelled Pyongyang's official ambassador in 2017 over nuclear weapons testing. As a senior diplomat, Jo enjoyed a life of relative privilege and trust from the regime, but even this couldn't stop him from yearning for freedom. In late 2018, Jo and his wife quietly vanished from the embassy residence, leaving the North Korean authorities both alarmed and humiliated. For almost 2 years, Jo's location remained an unsolved mystery, fueling speculation across diplomatic circles. Some believed he had sought asylum in a European country, while others feared he might have been captured by North Korean agents and forcibly returned to Pyongyang. The truth finally came to light in 2019, when South Korean lawmaker Ha Tae-kyung confirmed that Jo had successfully defected to South Korea, making him the highest-ranking North Korean official to defect since Tae Yong-ho, the former deputy ambassador to the United Kingdom, escaped in 2016. Jo's defection was not only a major embarrassment for North Korea, but also triggered diplomatic ripples between North Korea and Italy. The Italian Foreign Ministry claimed to have had no advance warning of his plans and said the North Korean embassy merely informed them afterward that Jo and his wife had left the premises. Tragically, Jo's young daughter did not accompany them during their escape. Instead, she later returned to North Korea, asking to be reunited with her grandparents, highlighting the deep and painful personal sacrifices defectors often make. Though many details of Jo's life after defection remain unknown due to security concerns, his bold decision demonstrates the extraordinary risks some members of North Korea's elite are willing to take to escape the oppressive reality of life under Kim Jong-un's regime. His story remains a powerful reminder that even privilege inside North Korea cannot silence the desire for freedom. Number 1. While many North Korean defectors risk their lives in desperate bids for freedom, the story of Jang Min-woo, a former North Korean soldier, stands out as both unusual and fascinating. Rather than fleeing under the cover of darkness or braving dangerous terrain, Jang openly expressed his desire to leave North Korea to fellow border guards. Because they were all part of the military and shared a bond of mutual respect, he was able to cross the border without injury or resistance. Jang left North Korea still wearing his military uniform, a symbol of the status and authority he once held. Upon arriving in Thailand, however, he realized wearing the uniform could lead to misunderstandings or raise suspicion among foreign military forces. To blend in, he borrowed civilian clothes from friends, carefully storing his uniform in a bag to keep it safe. Back in North Korea, wearing the uniform had become part of Jang's daily life, even during off-duty hours. It granted him respect, privileges, and a sense of identity that became deeply ingrained. adjusting to wearing ordinary clothes felt almost unnatural to him after years of this routine. When Jang eventually reached South Korea, he surrendered his military uniform to the South Korean intelligence agency. This act helped confirm that his defection was sincere and not part of an espionage mission. Despite leaving his uniform behind, he received a lightweight summer version made of cotton when appearing on the South Korean talk show Now On My Way to Meet You. On the show, North Korean defectors openly share and reflect on their life stories, shedding light on what it means to leave behind everything familiar for the hope of freedom. Jangmin Woo's journey is a striking reminder that while the path out of North Korea often demands courage and sacrifice, it can also be shaped by unexpected understanding and quiet resolve. Like and subscribe 5 Facts Only for more chilling content.